What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages? Joker back again once again, and today, people, So, I got hacked. That was a thing that happened. And as odd as it may sound coming from the person who was hacked, I do apologize for any inconvenience. Unless you were one of those, we'll kindly call you people, who are wishing me ill will, and celebrating because you don't like what I have to say about a video game you're obsessed with.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
But Joker, you're always wishing Bungie ill will.
Tell me you don't watch my videos without telling me you don't watch my videos. And while I know that people who don't watch my videos aren't watching this segment, I would like to reiterate my position just in case there was any doubt. My grievances have always been with management. I have always taken the side of the rank and file employees because I understand the 30 years of Bungie management screwing over their rank and file employees. I don't care if David, Jack, Jan, John, or Jason categorically penned the worst Destiny story ever created. At the end of the day, they're not the ones that decide what gets put in the game. They have no say whatsoever. I don't care if they make the ugliest armor, or the ugliest weapons, or the weakest weapons, or the worst raid, the worst strikes, the worst season pass content. They're not the ones that decide what gets put in the game. And number two, they're not the one that sets the budget. You can have the greatest idea ever, but if half your team's off working on Marathon, the other half is working on Matter only for Matter to be canceled, after years of wasted time, money, and resources that could have gone to make Destiny 2 a better game. But, and spoiler alert for an upcoming video, Bungie never wanted to be a single IP development house, even all the way back in the days of Halo 2. In fact, this was the reason that Halo 2 had such a horrific development cycle, at least for the rank and file devs, because so many people within the company dragged their feet every step of the way when it came to the development of Halo 2. Bungie management has a 30-year history of failing upwards and games succeeding, not because they're managerial genius, but because their rank and file are just damn good developers. Their games succeed in spite of management, not because of it. This tangent has been brought to you by Nuance. Do you have a problem understanding that not everyone is going to agree with you? That people will have different opinions, and that is just okay. Do you find yourself raging in YouTube comments because a video doesn't cater to your sensibilities?
Jump up your own ass and die!
Do you think that anyone who is critical about anything ever that you enjoy is just negative or a hater, and anyone who enjoys things that you do not is stupid? I don't live with this, and neither should you. If you're tired of everybody looking at you like an unreasonable jackass, well then, Nuance might be for you. Because here at Nuance, we understand that you don't. Take this poor fool for example.
How can Steam players like you and me protest against Sony while at the same time making Ghost of Tsushima one of the best-selling games on Steam?
Tisk, 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 you hate to see it. Had this gentleman been on Nuance, then he may have very well realized that no community is a monolith, and this silly little thing called demographics, or that there very well may have been a boycott of Ghost had Sony not walked back their Helldivers requirements. See, Nuance. With one dose of Nuance daily, he could have avoided this. So don't live in a world unnuanced, and talk to your doctor about Nuance today. Side effects may include sudden epiphanies, increased social standing, happiness, likability, drowsiness from increased social standings and having this thing called friends, and eventually death, preferably from old age. So ask your doctor today if Nuance is right for you. I regret nothing. But back to the hacking. Now, of course, I wouldn't be making a video about it past, oh hey, yeah, this was a thing that happened, if there wasn't an interesting story to it. So, are you ready to go on a journey? Because ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, we're about to go on a journey. As I give you a glimpse into the seedy underbelly that is being a YouTube content creator. And no, contrary to popular belief, it's not all catgirl raves and coke.
Please give me cock. Cock.
A few moments later.
Which means we'll also have to dive into your relationship with sponsors, YouTube, and Google, and a broken system full of bureaucracy and automation that would make the Imperium from Warhammer 40k seem downright functional. And speaking of sponsors, this video is brought to you by Aura, your one-stop shop for all things internet security, from account monitoring, password management, antivirus, and of course, VPN. And no, the irony of the sponsor is not wasted on me, but as they say, never waste a tragedy, and the show must go on. For the sake of argument, go ahead and Google your name, not your name. No, not the anime. Your name, as in who's on first, what's on second, and I don't know, third base. You know what? Scrap that idea. The point is, data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and probably just anybody with the money to buy your information, which is more than likely sold in a lot with a ton of other people's information, because that's kind of sort of how these things work. And did you happen to catch the stat from the previous slide? In 2022 alone, Americans lost 10.3 billion with a B dollars in online crime. So, yeah, that is a thing that happened. There's already a high chance that your information is out there being sold by data brokers. So your full name, your email, your home address, your health records, your relatives, your nieces, nephews, uncles, ex-roommates, boyfriends, sisters, fathers, mothers, second cousin, twice removed, deacon's side pieces, ex-husband's favorite barista. Now you may be wondering what that has to do with you. Everything. Which is why I've been using today's sponsor, Aura. Talking points aside, after I got hacked, I definitely wanted to make sure that my information was cleaned up, and as little as possible had leaked out into the wider world. And that's where Aura comes in, cleaning up my information to protect me from future hacks. Now, don't get me wrong, the VPN and the antivirus, that's great and all. So are things like credit score monitoring or sending cease and desist letters to spam callers. But what I personally find to be the strongest thing about Aura is how it's all bundled together. It is the definitive one-stop shop for all things internet security. And I mean, how secure can you really be if you need 4 to 5 to 6 different apps to monitor everything? With Aura, everything is conveniently bundled together. And you can start your 14-day free trial by going to aura.com/darksideroyalty. And with that, I would like to thank Aura for sponsoring the channel. Now, I'm sure there's going to be people that do not believe that that ad read was purely serendipitous. It was something I had in the back burner that I was like, I might not do this. Then I was hacked and I was like, well then, that would make a hilariously on-point sponsor for my return I was hacked coming back video. So I reached out to them and was like, hey, you guys still interested in working together? Now, you might be wondering to yourself,
But Joker, why are you still talking about sponsors? We got through your ad, or we probably just skipped it because that's what we all do anyways, and you still get paid, so everybody wins. But some of us are still gonna complain in the comment section like this was the most traumatic thing to ever happen in our lives.
well, oh viewer, mine. That's because this is how this all started, you see. I told you we were going on a journey. So something in the neighborhood of about 2-ish weeks ago, I got an email from Surfshark, or a contact that looked like they were an official Surfshark email. I don't have the email, I wish I did, but I deleted everything once it was clear what was going on, to the point that I even reset my computer. An overreaction? Probably. Will it cause issues in the content pipeline because I thought I backed up everything, but apparently I didn't? Yes, it will. But I was kinda sorta panicking. Now, as YouTubers, we get these emails all the time. In fact, the back and forth was pretty standard. They asked me if I was interested. I said, yeah, sure, why not? Who hasn't done Surfshark VPN? They asked me what it would cost to do a 60 to 90 second video. I asked them what they were offering. This is where we get into what I guess I would call a bidding war between me and the sponsor. I'll start at like $1,000 or $2,000, more so if it's a product I'm not necessarily excited to advertise. But Joker, you should only promote things you— Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there. Have you seen inflation? And I'm not talking about the, Futanari kind. Look, I'm not saying, I'm just saying if a corporation can raise their prices while still boasting record high profits, then I can take an ad read for a mobile game that I don't necessarily like.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
But where was I? Ah, yes. So inevitably, the sponsor will come back with a counteroffer. Lowballing you would be an insult to the term lowballing. So then you ask, well, what is your budget? Because they're not going to tell you the first time around. Bonus points if you have other sponsors going on that month, because then you can go, well, I have this, and this. I can try to fit you in, but maybe you should give me a bit more. You know, grease those palms, butter me up, because they inevitably have more money than they're willing to give you. It's just kind of sort of part of this weird negotiation game that you have to play, because they really are trying to get as much out of you as a content creator for as little as they possibly can spend. My favorite version of this happens to be when they tell you it's a 60 to 90 second ad read, but you need this bullet point, 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 and this bullet point. And it inevitably becomes a 3-minute ad read no matter how fast you try to speed through things. And they kinda sorta tend not to be happy when you send them the chipmunk version. So more often than not, I found that you're dealing with a third party, a go-between. And these companies will tend to have a set limit on what they'll pay content creators, depending on the bracket that they're in for views and subscribers. And from various people that I've talked to, I found that they're usually trying to lowball you by anywhere between 30 to 40 to even 50%. And the reason for this is simple. They want to come under budget because they then get to pocket it. Now, I do want to be clear, this does vary by agency, and most agencies I've dealt with have been actually really good about not doing this, but I have heard horror stories from other YouTube content creators that I know. Now, the reason that I'm going over this is to kind of sort of give you the backstory, a little bit of inside baseball, basically to set the stage for the fact that this interaction was nothing out of the ordinary that should have triggered a red flag. So we did our negotiating back and forth, we agreed on a price, and they sent me over the relevant media package, along with the contract. Now, the media package seemed legit. It was everything that you generally need. Transparent PNGs, branding, the apps being used, stuff like that. And the contract in an executable zip file. This isn't as weird as it sounds. Different companies do contracts differently. And this would be far from the first contract that I've gotten in a zip file. A lot of times you have to unzip it, bring it into a PDF, break out the digital tablet to sign it, and send it back. It can be a process. However, this time around, when I went to unzip the contract, nothing happened. Again, sounds like it should have been a red flag, but no, not really. Advertiser files and assets being broken is just par for the course. Human error just happens. Hell, I've had more than one advertiser send me the contract and the press kit for the previous month, as opposed to the month that I was doing. It just is what it is. Human error happens all the time. So I open this thing, it doesn't work, and I think nothing about it. I go on with my day, figuring, I'll email them later on. But as I'm sure everybody can guess, turns out the PDF that had the contract clearly didn't. Gasp, shock, horror, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, revelation, and the truth shall set you free. A plot twist so foreseeable in retrospect, you'd almost think it was an M. Night Shyamalan movie. The program, from my understanding of what I was able to gather, more or less copies all your cached information, including but not limited to security tokens. This actually allows it to bypass the two-factor authentication. So while I was going on about my morning, the channel was being hacked. And the hacker or hijacker, however you want to split that hair, wasted no time in converting the channel into their crypto scheme nonsense. They took down the banner, the videos, and of course, changed all the account recovery information. That last part is going to be important for everything that's to come. So as you do, I contacted YouTube support. Now, anybody who's ever been locked out of their YouTube account knows the recovery screen. And Google went ahead and asked me to fill it out no less than 10 times. Have I ever told you the definition of insanity? So I do this over and 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 over again, only to be told each time that it couldn't verify whether I was me or not. Because of course it couldn't. All the information had been changed. You would really think that Google would know that. But hey, fucking details, am I right? So I contacted Google support and I was like, hey, this isn't working. And I immediately go into problem solving mode. So I'm like, okay, let's cut to the chase. I can send you the direct deposit information for the last couple of years. I can send you tax information. I can send you stuff that only I, the owner of the channel, would have. And I in fact went ahead and sent it. No sense in wasting time. Now, of course, you would think that this is enough information to recover the account because you are an intelligent human being. You would think, well, you sent the direct deposit information and the tax information. All they would have to do is cross-reference that. But that's not what happened. Nope. Believing that I was somehow in error when putting in my information, they had me make a video of me putting in my information. What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages? Joker back again once again, and today, people, oh wait, this isn't a YouTube video. This is Google's account recovery system is actually pretty freaking awful. But hey, let's keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because surely this time filling out the form will work. But you know what? Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on Google and YouTube here. I mean, clearly discerning whether or not I'm a crypto hacking scam that you've already flagged as a crypto hacking scam, or the guy who has literally sent you screenshots of my direct deposit information from Google paying me. Oh yeah, and supplied tax information and billing address information. Oh, I know, it just must be a rough position Google and YouTube are in, trying to figure this mystery of the ages out. I know, let's keep filling out the same form over and over and over and over and over again. Surely, this time, no, this time it'll work. No, this time will be the time that it works.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh, but I've only been using this way of making videos for a while, so what suit should I bust out? Should I keep going in my Destiny 2 emote avatar? Or how about we go OG PNG?
The Joker!
I hear you cry out, oh contrarian commenter of contrarian comments. What about the manic pixie cat girl that you use? Ah yes, Aya Corin, the unofficial mascot of the channel. I almost forgot about that. And you know what? You're right. I better put forth the gag character as an option for the face of the channel because, you know what? Somehow, someway, through some Herculean leap in logic that us mere mortals will never be able to comprehend, she might somehow be confused as the face or the owner of the channel. You know, like the crypto scams were. But you know what? Anyone can fake a voice now with AI. I mean, I'm sure Google would have ways to detect that, but you know what? Just in case. Perhaps this requires a more personal touch. Meat suit it is, unless I'm a hyper-advanced AI. Gasp, shock, horror, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, revelation, and the truth shall set you free. So. Now, it might be kinda sorta hard to use my lovely, wonderful face to identify me as the owner of the channel. After all, I am a PNG YouTuber or machinimator, whatever you wanna call it, and I don't often appear on camera. However, often is not never. So if you're willing to do a little bit of legwork, and I know you're just willing, ready, and able to do everything you can to help a poor sinner out, well, then, you can go into my live streams and you can click on basically any video at random and you will probably see my face. I know. Gasp, shock, horror, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle. Once again, revelation. It's so convenient. It just works. But hey, content is content, so let's go ahead and engage in my favorite pastime, exercises of futility. And today on our exercise of futility that we're going to be engaging in, the account recovery. Now this wants me to go ahead and just click that to type it in, and that would be so easy, but you know what? Just in case. What does this button do? It hits enter. Oh man, now we need another way. Okay, well, so use the password. No, we will not. And now I assume at some point Google has reset my password. However, this is where we fail to launch, I guess is what I would say, because that is not my phone number. I don't know if it was ever my phone number. I can't remember owning a phone that had 1 and 2, and it doesn't matter because it's not my phone number anymore. My phone number is, and we won't be saying it because this video is content, but we will be typing it in and blurring it out. Oh no, it won't. It won't let me. But let's just put it this way. My phone number doesn't end in a 1 and a 2. It ends in a 3 and a 0. So, and I can prove that Google has known about this for quite some time, at least on Tuesday, March 7th at 6:37 a.m. 2023. Did you ask Google to reset the password for darksideroyaltylore@gmail.com? If not, check your email requests. See? There you go. There you are. It's you! But, hey! Details. So, let's go ahead and hit try another way. You know. Okay, they're gonna send a code to my email. My email that I can't log into. Good job! Okay, let's try another way. Enter the email address where we can contact you. Got this. See, it's Darkside Royalty again. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Either that or I'm one note. Okay, we're gonna get a code. Oh yeah, codes, we love codes. Is this the code or will it be another code? Gotta get the verification code. Make sure the code is the code, that it's the right code. The coding of the code. Code breaking. Ah yes, thank you for confirming that you can access the contact email address you provided. Unfortunately, Google could not verify that Darkside Royalty Lore belongs to you. Well, who else would it belong to? Ah yes, it was clearly
Clearly, the crypto scammers that hacked the account, that's who it belongs to. How about this? So how about this? I will take the bank account receipts where you have direct deposited to me, and you can take those numbers and type them into whatever database you have, because I assume Google keeps a database of who they pay and what that pay's tied to and why they've been paid. You know, maybe, just maybe. And then, while you're doing that, I will also send you the address of the tax form that you literally just sent me. It's the same address that it's been for years. So there's that. And, you know, maybe, just maybe, we could figure this out. Now, how is it that we should end this little dalliance between us? Oh yeah, like every other YouTuber, remember to like, ring that bell, subscribe for more, and like always, stay frosty.
So a little background information, just in case I seem a little more annoyed than I probably should. I sent that video after 2 to 3 days of back and forth. However, there was also a little bit of method to the madness. I wanted to make a video that was definitively a me video. So you could watch that and then click on any video on my channel and go, yup, that's Joker. Was it a risk because I was being absolutely positively kinda cheeky? Yes, but it worked out. Well, for the most part. I got access back to the Google account. However, the YouTube channel at this point was still down. It wasn't until around 5 p.m. the next day that I got this little ping going, hey, your monetization is back, informing me that, oh, hey, I guess the YouTube channel's alive, because how do you have monetization on a YouTube channel that doesn't exist? Also, put a pin in the monetization thing, it'll be important later. But this is clearly not where the story ends. For you see.
Not even 24 hours after the channel was returned to me, I got an email informing me that my channel had been demonetized. Nani, and I cannot stress this harder, the fuck. The reason, re-uploading somebody else's content. Nani, the fuck, times 2. Clearly, I'm not uploading other people's content. So what do? Well, I wish I had an answer for that, but I was never given one. There are 2 things that I can imagine triggered the automated system to flag my content. One is the blatantly obvious. When the channel was hijacked, the hackers streamed some cryptocurrency nonsense. Then linked a bunch of old videos from other channels to the main page of my channel to, I guess, make it look more authentic. Now, the rational person would assume that because Google and YouTube knew that the channel was hacked, when they reinstated it, anything flagging the channel as DMCA, copyright, the re-uploading of other people's content would be expunged. I mean, there was even a time where the channel didn't exist. So you're telling me it's like these strikes were still against the channel, even though the channel didn't exist, even though you knew it was hacked? Because I guess they were in the system and just took days to catch up. Okay, seems kinda dumb. However, option 2, which is even more stupid, is that my channel was flagged for re-uploading other people's content when I relisted all my videos. Because when the hijacker took over my channel, they didn't delete everything. They just made everything private. I almost want to refuse to believe it's something that stupid, but then again, here we are. So I contact Google and YouTube and I'm like, hey, what's going on with this? And of course, wouldn't you know my luck, I get nothing back. But you know what? There is an appeals process, so if I just go through that, the system will work, and of course everything will be fixed in just a couple of days. Right? 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 So for the appeals video, they ask you to upload a video going over your creative process. However, you have to do it in 5 minutes or less.
What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back. Oh, wait. This is another not YouTube video. So I guess the more flashy introduction isn't required. That said, I am Joker and I run the Darkside Royalty YouTube channel, which you can find at this URL, youtube.com/UCH-HC-RUGZ-T6SMFVPR4CLVSA, a channel that was unfortunately recently hacked. But not to worry, after going through the recovery process with the very helpful people at YouTube and Google, I was able to get it back. Yay! Happy ending until it wasn't. Because not even 24 hours after having the channel returned to me, it was demonetized. What can I say? You have to have a sense of humor about these sorts of things. Now I wonder, I sit here all a wonder, why was it demonetized? Well, according to YouTube, it was because of reused content. Channel uses somebody else's content without making changes that add significant value. I have to imagine that this is a false positive, stemming from one of two places. One, the hackers who streamed some sort of cryptocurrency nonsense after taking over my channel, while linking tons of videos making them look like they'd been uploaded to the channel of cryptocurrency nonsense. Or, and I can't imagine that this would actually be the case, because it would just be silly, but when the hackers hacked my channel, they made all my videos private. I then went and unprivated all my videos. But like I said, that would be silly. After all, it was reviewed by somebody, and I refuse to believe that somebody would mistake the re-uploading of content with making videos unprivated. So clearly this has to just be a misunderstanding from the hacking fiasco. Now, of course, I assume that this is a mistake because I've spent over 6 years in good standing with YouTube as a creator. But in the spirit of cooperation and the fact that this might make an interesting video to anybody who's ever wondered how I make my content, first, we start with the script, which I spend way too much time on because I know I'm just going to deviate, ad-lib, and then have to rewrite segments because I like what I ad-libbed more than what I wrote, but what I wrote and what I ad-libbed don't quite match up. Then, as I'm doing now, I record. I use an Elgato Wave 3 microphone. Yes, I know, not the best of equipment, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. And I record directly into Sony Vegas. Most times I use Sony Vegas 13, but right now I'm trying out Sony Vegas Pro 21, and I honestly can't say it's worth the upgrade, but that's a video for another day. For the vast majority of my channel's life, I've used a series of PNGs to represent a character that I play in Destiny 2. This character is a persona. It takes opinions that I may or may not have and amps them up to 11, often playing devil's advocate. Over the past year, however, I've used more and more Destiny 2 assets as their suite of emotes have become more versatile. This machinimation process is somewhat lengthy and a bit of a pain in the butt, as it requires me to load up Destiny 2, which already sucks. I kid, I love Destiny 2. No, none of that. No sarcasm here. Now, this process sounds easy, barely an inconvenience. However, not quite. Unlike, say, Final Fantasy XIV, another game I used to machinimate skits like this.
We're pretty tapped for cash. Any ideas on how we can score guns for the boys?
Yeah, we raid the guard armory.
All right, sounds good to me.
You can't be serious.
What's wrong with robbing a military complex?
Getting shot comes to mind.
All right, let's go with plan B. You raise money turning tricks.
Not cool.
I'm just throwing out options here.
All right. We'll pick a fight with the military.
Atta girl.
Anybody who's played Final Fantasy XIV knows in A Realm Reborn you tend to raid a lot of bases. But I digress. In Destiny 2, what I have to do is hit the emote, swing the camera around, and just kinda sorta hope that I get it in the right spot, and it seldom works the first time. Once I spend probably about an hour or 2 hours doing this, I import the video into Sony Vegas and I trim down to the parts that I need. But the editing process isn't done there. Not only do I have to slot in the various appropriate emotes to what I'm saying, but often I'll have to stretch or shrink them down or edit them in quite a way where it's just exactly the gesture I want. Now, while I could go on and on and on about the process, I believe that you get the gist. After I go through this lengthy editing process, I upload the video to YouTube, send it off to any sponsors if I need to, like Raid Shadow Legends, Surfshark, NordVPN, Tokyo Treat, Manscaped, stuff like that. Make any changes that the sponsor requires if there are any, then re-upload the video if I do have to, and yeah, that's basically it. Not sure what else to say, so I guess I'll end the video here. Remember to like, subscribe, donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous, but above all else, stay frosty. But it would be way too simple if it ended that neatly, wouldn't it? My appeal was rejected. Gasp, shock, horror, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle, revelation! I was sent an email telling me that a real person had watched my video and decided that there still wasn't any way to discern whether or not I made the videos or was just simply uploading somebody else's content. Madness, blasphemy, heresy, silly even, I know. But wouldn't you know it, I can do this silly little thing like see the data and tell if somebody's watched the video. The wonders of technology, they're just simply amazing. So when YouTube tells me that they had somebody watch the video, of course they did, right? Right?
So that was a fucking lie.
Ooh boy, my expectations were low, but as the kids say, yikes. So at this point, things are not looking good for me. We're at about 2.5 weeks of runaround, and now I've been told that my channel has been demonetized and that I'll only be eligible for monetization in 90 days. Yikes. And I have it on good authority from a couple of larger channels that YouTube not actually watching the video
is allegedly, according to these other channels, more or less standard practice, in their opinion, from their experience. Allegedly. But what, oh what am I to do? Mama didn't raise no quitter after all. And there's more to monetization than just getting paid. I can get paid through sponsors, that's fine, fair enough. However, not having your videos monetized means they don't get viewed, which means sponsors don't want to place ads on your video. But what, oh what am I to do, oh dear viewer mine? Well, long story short, I had to go back through the same exact process I had to in order to verify that my account belonged to me through Google. Because apparently, only the hacking team can decide as to whether or not the strike for re-uploading somebody else's content was given to my channel because the hacking, or because I was re-uploading somebody else's content. I mean, you would think that it would be pretty obvious that I'm not re-uploading somebody else's content, but I guess not. So we make a second appeals video. What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker? Oh wait, we're not doing a YouTube video again. We're doing a, hey, I actually own this account and don't re-upload people's content video. So I'm going to assume, for the sake of argument, that this is just a gross misunderstanding and no real person actually watched my appeals video, because that would just be insanity. I mean, explain to me how somebody would somehow, some way, through some Herculean leap in logic that us mere mortals will never be able to comprehend, would somebody be able to watch that video and go, no, this guy doesn't make these videos, this guy steals content and re-uploads it. That would be absolutely positively silly, and no real, actual, living, breathing, thinking human being would ever come to that conclusion. So I guess for the sake of argument, so nobody misunderstands who's who, what's going on, and where's Waldo, we'll go live action for this one. So, I understand that it may be kind of sort of hard to figure out who I am based on the content that I create, because I use PNGs and I use machinimation to more or less obfuscate my identity. You know, because I don't want to dox myself. Novel concept, I know, right? But I have come on camera a couple of times. If you come into the, actually, let's go through from YouTube home. Let's just, you know, make sure we have the line of causality. You go to the Dark Side Royalty YouTube channel, you go to content, you go to live. So there's my last appeals video. This is all of my content that I have been uploading for years. You can see all the days, all the individual days. I want to say there's a Halo Legacy. Yeah, there we go. Halo Legacy of Onyx, part 1 rant. There we go. There's my face. Actually, there's my, like, bloated face before I lost some weight. But, you know what? Let's go ahead and come over to the live streaming portion of the YouTube page and click on this. So here we got Shadowbringers, the Shadowbringers live stream from all the way 2 years ago. Well, oh, there I am. Okay, so we have that, but what is the process? How do I make the videos? So, let's bring up Sony Vegas here. Sony Vegas, my favorite. Currently, I have in here recorded from the start of this video, where you may or may not have seen machinimation and PNG and stuff like that, all right? Now, here's how we do this. So I have my Xbox sitting right here. Gotta wait for Bungie to load. Da 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 da. All right, hit the login. Do I need to bring it back on me? Yeah. Doot, 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 doot. Bap, 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 bap. All right, so now we got our Destiny characters here. This one's taking forever to load. All right, click on that. Okay. Joker, see my name in the corner, my clan, Dark Side Royalty. I'm gonna go ahead and open the director. Let's go ahead and go to this social space. Once we're in the social space, we'll find a location. Here's the one that we've been using. So we'll get here, and then we'll turn off the HUD video, and then we'll emote. So we'll emote, and then sometimes it'll be too far away, so going in and adjusting the camera for distance makes it look pixelated in Sony Vegas. So sometimes we'll just have to go into here and then forget to hit save on the settings, and we'll just bring the FOV down, hit apply changes, boom, there we go. yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll record a bunch of that. And then we will bring in Sony Vegas. We'll import, go to videos, 4K capture. We'll bring in a video. We'll go ahead and make Sony Vegas bigger. I wonder if that messes with anything here. Yes, it does. Go ahead and bring that down. Okay. Once we have Sony Vegas up, bring this down, and we will go in and, yeah, so we got this countdown. It was a wonderful emote. S there, split, find where the emote ends, split there again, and then line it up with whatever's being said here. And yeah, that is the process. All this content, or this way of making content, is approved by Bungie as part of their user agreement. Obviously, I am the person who runs this channel. All of this content is mine. You could tell from my voice, right? Like I like to think I have a pretty distinct voice. This is clearly my voice. I don't know what you people, your AI or whatever, because obviously if some actual human being heard my voice in the appeal video and then heard this voice in the most popular video from 6 years ago, they'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That is clearly the same person. So obviously this has to be some huge misunderstanding, and I would appreciate it if you would take care of it. With all of that said, remember to like, subscribe, and stay frosty.
Now, spoiler alert to how this story ends, you may or may not have noticed I have monetization back. I wonder, I sit here all a wonder, how did that happen? Well, after being told that my appeal was rejected, I scoured the internet for anything that might help. And to give you kind of sort of a loose timeline, this is more or less 2.5 weeks since the original hacking. So if I seem kind of a little annoyed with YouTube in my appeals videos, it's because, well, they've just spent 2.5 weeks jerking me around. And you know, some people might like getting jerked around for 2 weeks. But me, what can I say? I'm just, not into that kind of gooning. So at this point, I scour the internet to find any point of contact that I can make that will more or less expedite this situation to where I can maybe get in touch with an actual person. Obviously, I do. However, as a wise man once said,
were it so easy.
So I get in this chat with this representative from Google or YouTube, and I once again explain the situation. And the waiting game begins as I get put on hold seemingly every 5 seconds. After about an hour of this, and going around in circles like this was NASCAR because, hey, it's a left turn. Oh look, another left turn. Hey, look y'all, it's another left turn. The oh so helpful point of contact tells me there's nothing they can do. Why? Because they can't prove on their end that the videos were uploaded during the time that I was hacked by the hacker. Even though they know I was hacked, they know the time period I was hacked, they know that I was locked out of the account, but they don't have the power to reinstate monetization because they can't necessarily prove that this was all part of the hacking, even though they have the data that tells them it was part of the hacking. And I'm not just pulling that out of my ass. They literally tell me this. And it's why the next step of forwarding me to the security team happens, which begins another wonderful round of the waiting game. So I once again use the information that they gave me to get into contact with the security team. I explain the situation again, give them all the relevant information again, give them the videos again, basically file every report in triplicate again. And then I wait. And finally, a day or two later, they get back to me. And congratulations, monetization has been re-enabled on my channel. So yeah, that was a lot of that. But where do we go from here? Well, I do have a lot of stuff planned. I don't know if you've noticed, but editing my videos is an immense undertaking. And a lot of the content that I prefer doing tends to be a little more long form. For example, the upcoming Bungie management video where I go over the last 30 years of Bungie management is a couple of hours right now. Now, of course, I can't upload a video like that. That's insanity, so I have to figure out where to cut it down. And if I don't edit it properly, you know, dot all my I's, cross all my T's, cite each and every source, fanboys are just gonna butt Joker all over the comments. I'm also more or less doing the same thing with an Elric Melnibene Destiny video that I'm working on. Because as it turns out, this may not just be a Destiny thing. This might go all the way back to Myth.
But I mean, if only we could find a connection between Bungie and Elric. Oh, hi, foreshadowing. Yeah, that's a massive text document too. Oh, and I plan on streaming Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker in the lead up to Dawn Trail, which I may or may not have started doing by the time you're watching this video. I've also got an overview of this last year in Destiny that I've written, and of course I should probably talk about the Horde mode, not Horde mode, throw ball at thing, reskinned, reissued weapons mode that we got. Spoiler alert, I don't actually think it's as random as Bungie made it seem. What is this year, by the way? Oh yeah, that's right, the 10-year anniversary of Destiny. It would be a little weird to not have something to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the franchise. So I think they had this more or less in the woodworks and just kinda sorta moved it up. You know, kinda sorta like they did with the Final Shape multiplayer maps. We've known that they've been working on those for the better part of a year. So yeah, I got a lot in the pipeline. And with that, I guess I'll bring this video to a close. So, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. But above all else, stay frosty.